he believes the Russian propaganda that they have true hypersonic missiles. He believes everything Russia says, but nothing the United States says.
You had mentioned something else, switching gears a little bit, how we would instigate China into invading Taiwan. How do you think?
What's the point of these podcasts? God, it's so boring.
I think we would instigate China into invading Taiwan.
If we keep trying to militarize the South China Sea,
it's South China Sea. That's all the United States' fault. Do you think in the next? We'll listen to this for 5 more minutes. Do you think in any of this is any of the blame whatsoever going to be placed on China at all? Any of it, or is all of it going to be the fault of the United States?
they're going to respond by militarizing it themselves. And, it's the same thing we did with Russia. If you treat somebody like an enemy and you say, we want a hot war, they got to start arming themselves. And, China would never wanted to put a lot of money into its military, and it never has. But now it's putting huge amounts of money, and it's...
The whole Chinese military is literally just there because of the United States. The U.S. is the whole reason why. Why did the U.S. even feel threatened if China never was even going to put money into the military? Like, wait, so you're saying, just real quick, you're saying China never wanted to put in any money at all towards its military. Well, then why did the U.S. even feel the need to militarize anything at all if China has no military? There should be no threat there then, right?
China is very smart, and it's a rich country. They have huge cash reserves, and they have...
I think one of the biggest misconceptions, and I think this is more generally thought of, warning, I'm entering areas that I have very low levels of conviction, very low levels of detailed knowledge of, okay? But I think there's been a Western myth of Chinese competency where decades and decades ago, we've been talking about forever how China is like secretly, they're ran so smoothly. These authoritarian regimes can respond to situations instantly with lightning precision, and the Belt Road Initiative and the scams that they do in these African countries, it's so smart and it's so efficient and it's so amazing. And I think as the years have drawn on, I think people have largely changed their perspectives on that, where it's like, China definitely has a lot of issues. They've got a lot of issues with satisfying the middle class. They've got a lot of issues with how they deal with other countries that don't go as smoothly as they want. They do have issues rolling out some of these larger projects that end up not being as efficient as they want them to be. China's not really this like ultra efficient, economic soft power blitzkrieging force throughout the world that I guess in the West we thought they would be over and over again. But obviously this myth will still carry on in the minds of people that hate this country. But
money, and it's China's very smart, and it's a rich country. They have huge cash reserves, and they have the ability to quickly build a military, and they're building a smart military. They're now, because of these hypersonic weapons, a lot of the assumptions are, our military, by the way, is in, I don't know how to play.
He's not going to find a way to, he's not about to our military at the same time. The only thing that apparently we're prioritizing, and the most evil country on the planet, the United States, that is like doing all these, he's not about to also make the claim that our military is useless or can't do anything, right? I don't know where he's going from here. Let's see.
Our military, by the way, is in, I don't know how to politely say it, but it's in the crapper.
Damn, the U.S. just can't do anything, I guess. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. I guess we just suck at literally every thing possible is horrible of the military. The one thing that apparently we're so corrupt, you would think that this would be the one thing we do well if we're literally destroying the world because of the military industrial complex, forcing people to buy our and taking over and doing all. You'd think at least our military was okay, but I guess not. Okay, Jesus.
The jets don't work. The equipment is broken. The enlistments are down, I think, by 45%. And there's so much waste and so much corruption and the acquisitions part.
The jets don't work. That feel when our planes just fall out of the sky.
And the whole assumption, that upon which NATO is based.
These are almost word for word Mearsheimer talking points. Okay, I stopped listening to that years ago. Thank God. So I haven't heard the new updated marching orders that he's been delivering to people.
Is that we can get 1 million troops across the Atlantic Ocean if there is an invasion from the east. But we can't do that anymore because these hypersonic weapons, which there's really no defense.
And he believes the Russian propaganda that they have true hypersonic missiles. He believes everything Russia says, but nothing the United States says. Russia probably does not have actual guided. What do you call them? True hypersonic weapons are weapons that can be maneuvered after the launch, like through. There's a name for these. True hypersonic doesn't just mean you're moving at a certain speed. It means that you can navigate them at a certain speed. Russia does not. I don't think Russia has these types of missiles. I think it was the Kislyak missiles that they claimed could do this, but some of these missiles have been intercepted and shot down. They do not have like hypersonic navigation. I don't think they do. He's referring to China's anti-ship hypersonic missiles. Okay, maybe. I don't. Okay.
Is that we can get 1 million troops across the Atlantic Ocean if there's...
Well, no, because he's saying across the Atlantic to stop an invasion from the east. Or is he saying China's going to invade from the east? China's going to invade Europe? I would assume he's talking about Russia. Who the f knows?
An invasion from the east. But we can't do that anymore because these hypersonic weapons...
Sorry, Kinzhal missiles, not Kislyak, my bad.
Which there's really no defense. There'd be so many troop carriers that would sink that the American people would not tolerate it anymore. Many troop sonic weapons, which there's really no defense. There'd be so many troop carriers that would sink that the American people would not tolerate it anymore. A lot of the assumptions that current military strategy is based on are archaic.
On top of that, I mean, the FBI director just came out and said that
archaic. Our F-35s are archaic. Our power projection is archaic. I mean, like what the last war the United States was involved in, we steamrolled Iraq in like 1 month. They're like one of the largest ground army tank fleets in the world, as opposed to Russia that is falling over itself to invade a country that barely had a standing army, I think, like 10 years ago. Like what? Your power projection is weak as in what? Where? How? How many bombing missions have we done where we can obliterate any target around the world at range? We don't have to send in ground troops sometimes. How many airfields have we? What is that? I'm getting baited. Never mind.
they have infiltrated our power grid and our water supply, our water treatment plants, and so I've been on top of this for a long time and talking about it for years. It sounds to me like it's...
Somebody said, how does this look like Tim Pool? This guy looks exactly like Tim Pool. Do you mean thrust vectoring missiles? Maybe. It's close enough, okay.
Pretty much a light switch and the power goes out. And we're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
But, well, thank you. Let's get into your life story a little bit. Where did you grow up?
So I was one of 11 children.
Okay, thank you for whoever linked me this video. Okay, so now when people are like, you hate RFK for no reason, and instead of me saying, like, I feel like everything I've seen was, now I can point to even something more specific, and it's 1 day ago, so Jesus Christ. Destiny, there is a good argument that exists that the philosophy of the U.S. Army to outspend on certain systems that provide an overwhelming advantage instead of a large scale of equipment is severely outdated and only works when you aren't fighting pure adversaries. Okay, I don't know what that argument would be. When was the last time two peers fought in a huge, large-scale war? How do we even... What would it have been? Like World War II? When was the last time a war like that happened? Unless you consider Iraq and the United States as peers, but I don't know if you would. Who would even be our peers now? Would it just be Russia and China? I literally drop $100 as you go through Laserpig's new video on how to kill a god. It goes really deep into Russia/Ukraine war and the propaganda around it. It's so good. Maybe. Okay.
She ate that, Destiny.
All right. Bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.